Our series on how planning for retirement is changing.
Since the Social Security program began in 1935, 65 was the age of retirement, but now that's not always the case. Rising healthcare costs and economic uncertainty are two major reasons why.
The year I retired.
According to a recent poll by Northwestern Mutual, 42% of those surveyed
Right down the middle.
say they expect to have to work until they are at least 70.
Good one, Jim.
Some even expect to work into their 80s.
Since 2008, what of course has happened is we've had this horrible recession that has, for better or worse, affected people in ways that have caused them to redefine not just how they plan to retire, but how they plan to live. People are buying smaller houses, they're buying less expensive cars, they're spending less, certainly consuming less. The thing that everybody should remember is that retirement planning and having that nest egg is about time and money.
President and CEO of Bison Financial, David Vorbeck, says the bottom line is start early, as young as possible, with your very first paycheck. Vorbeck says you can start with as little as $25.
The old adage of pay yourself first is really important.
He also suggests you check the benefits your employer has to offer. A matching 401k, for example, or although it's becoming more rare, a pension plan. Ultimately, the buck stops with you.
It really is going to be about what you do as an individual.
I quickly realized I don't want this to happen to my grandma, and I don't want this to happen to my mom, and I don't want it to happen to me, honestly.
You want to give yourself plenty of options when it comes to your lifestyle and health care. Tracy Gowdy is the owner of Home Care by Design in Lafayette. The primary focus of her business is senior care.
Senior living options are so new, even in our community and in the nation, really.
Assisted living, moving to a senior living community, or even living with family members are options, but for many, they just want to be able to stay in their own home. Have you thought about it? Maybe you should.
I have found in 25 years working with seniors that we want the same amount of freedom, choices, and independence, dignity, and respect as we did when we were 20, 30, and 40. Why should that change?
And Gowdy says it doesn't have to if you plan accordingly. Educate and investigate your options. Consider long-term care insurance.
It will help pay all or in part of the services that you may need either in your home or even in an assisted living facility.
We don't know exactly what the future holds for Social Security and Medicare. The general thought is you can't rely on it the way it's structured now. It was never intended to fully fund retirement anyhow.
The interesting thing about 2008 is that it is not as remarkable as we like to think it was.
Vorbeck expects the financial future to be a lot like recent weather patterns. Plan for the droughts and for the floods. He says there will be more ups and downs in the economy, but if you prepare, the future will be sunny rather than stormy. Now, if this story is getting you thinking about your retirement, you can start by checking out the information we posted on WLFI.com, and we'll be posting more later on this morning. We've even got a link to AARP's retirement calculator. I know when I was working on this story, we were talking and we did that retirement calculator together. Kind of eye-opening, right? To find out how much you need and how much you really do need to plan right now.
And I'll be working until I'm 115, so I need to, this is very important. I really appreciate you doing this story because, again, for all ages, it's something that's important to consider and important to think about.
Yeah, I think it's something that we think we'll get around to, you know, when the time comes.
Yeah.
But, you know, really it's time to take charge of our own future.
And we'll be retired before we know it.
Yeah, well, the future comes fast, isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
Well,